You might find yourself asking what makes a narcissist? Well, it's not as simple as a checklist or a single trait. Narcissism is a deep-rooted personality disorder that affects a person's behavior, relationships, and overall view of the world. At its core, narcissism is characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But beneath this mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem, vulnerable to the slightest criticism. Now, it's important to note that all of us, to some degree, exhibit narcissistic tendencies from time to time. It's when these traits become persistent, when they interfere with a person's daily life and relationships, that we move into the realm of narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissists often believe they are superior or unique compared to others, and that they can only be understood by, or should associate with, other special or high-status people. They're frequently preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. They regularly belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior and are often envious of others or believe others envy them. Now, this might sound like a narcissist is easy to spot, but that's not always the case. Narcissists are often charming and charismatic, at least at first. They can be skilled at manipulation, using others to meet their own needs, often without the other person realizing what's happening. When it comes to relationships, narcissists often control through a cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discarding, leaving the other person confused and hurt, questioning their own worth and reality. While narcissism might seem straightforward, it's a complex personality disorder with different types. Each type of narcissist has their own way of thinking, behaving, and manipulating. But no matter the type, the impact of their actions on those around them can be incredibly damaging. So let's delve deeper. In the next scenes, we'll explore overt and covert narcissism, narcissistic manipulation tactics, and how childhood trauma could potentially lead to narcissism. Stay tuned. Did you know there are two main types of narcissists, overt and covert? While they share a common trait of inflated self-importance, their behaviors manifest differently, painting two contrasting pictures of narcissism. Let's start with overt narcissists. They're the ones you might picture when you hear the term narcissist. They wear their self-centeredness like a badge of honor, often displaying grandiosity, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration. They're the ones who dominate conversations, always steering the spotlight back to themselves. Their sense of entitlement is palpable, and they often have a knack for exploiting others to meet their own needs. Overt narcissists are typically extroverted and assertive, and their narcissism is clearly visible. On the other hand, covert narcissists are a bit harder to identify. They're often introverted and hypersensitive. While they also crave admiration and feel entitled, they may not openly demand it. Instead, they use passive-aggressive strategies and often play the victim to gain attention and sympathy. They might seem humble and even self-effacing, but beneath the surface they harbor the same inflated self-perception as their overt counterparts. They feel misunderstood or underappreciated and often bear grudges for perceived slights. In essence, both types of narcissists share a skewed sense of self-importance and a lack of genuine empathy for others. However, while overt narcissists are like a loud blaring horn, covert narcissists are more like a subtle, insidious whisper. Both can be damaging in their own ways, but because covert narcissism is less obvious, it can sometimes be more difficult to recognize and navigate. Understanding these two types of narcissism can be crucial in helping us identify and deal with narcissistic behaviors in our relationships and daily interactions. Remember, knowledge is power, and by understanding the nuances of narcissism, we are better equipped to protect ourselves and promote healthier interactions. So, while both types share the narcissistic label, their behaviors can be quite different. In our next segment, we'll delve into the manipulation tactics often employed by narcissists. Stay tuned. Narcissists are notorious for their manipulation tactics. Ever heard of gaslighting or playing the victim? Let's dive right into it. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation tactic where the narcissist makes you question your own sanity. Imagine a scenario where you distinctly remember an event happening, but the narcissist insists it never did. This constant denial, even in the face of evidence, can make you doubt your own recollections and perceptions. Now, why would a narcissist gaslight you? Because it gives them control. By making you question your own memories or judgment, they gain power and influence over you. They become the gatekeepers of reality, leaving you dependent on their version of events. Next up is playing the victim. This tactic is all about deflection. When you confront a narcissist about their behavior, They switch the narrative to make it about themselves. Instead of acknowledging their actions, they spin a tale of how they're the real victim here, how they're misunderstood or mistreated. It's a clever way to avoid accountability and to elicit sympathy. Lastly, there's the silent treatment. This is where the narcissist gives you the cold shoulder, refusing to communicate or engage with you. It's a form of emotional withholding, a punishment for not complying with their demands or for challenging them. The silent treatment can be deeply unsettling, as it creates a sense of uncertainty and self-doubt. It's yet another way for the narcissist to exert control. So we have gaslighting, playing the victim, and the silent treatment. These are just some of the manipulation tactics narcissists use to maintain their sense of superiority and control. They're insidious, often hard to detect until you're deep in the throes of a relationship with a narcissist. But remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about these tactics, the better equipped you'll be to recognize them when they occur. And recognizing them is half the battle won. Understanding these tactics is the first step towards protecting yourself from a narcissist's manipulation. Ever wondered why someone becomes a narcissist? Childhood trauma and upbringing can play a significant role. When we examine the roots of narcissism, we often find ourselves journeying back to one's early years. Childhood, a time of growth and development, is where many of our adult behaviors and personality traits are cultivated. Narcissism, too, can find its origins in this formative period. Negative experiences during childhood can leave lasting impacts. For a child, being subjected to emotional negligence or excessive criticism can be deeply traumatizing. These experiences can lead to a sense of worthlessness and a constant yearning for validation. Over time, this can manifest as narcissistic traits when the individual grows up. In the same vein, an overly pampered and excessively praised child can also develop narcissistic tendencies. When a child is continuously told they are special or superior, it can lead to an inflated sense of self-importance, a key characteristic of narcissism. This child, as an adult, may struggle with empathy and have an insatiable need for admiration. It's important to note, however, that not every child who experiences trauma or an unbalanced upbringing will become a narcissist. Many factors interplay in the development of one's personality, including genetics, resilience, and other environmental influences. Therefore, while childhood experiences can contribute to narcissism, they aren't the sole cause. Understanding these connections between childhood trauma, upbringing, and narcissism helps us gain a more comprehensive view of the narcissist's world. It allows us to see beyond their manipulative behaviors and inflated egos, and recognize the pain and insecurity that often lurks beneath. However, it's crucial to remember that understanding does not equate to excusing. Acknowledging the impact of childhood experiences on a narcissist's behavior does not justify their actions, especially when these actions harm others. Empathy should not come at the expense of personal boundaries and mental health. Childhood experiences don't justify narcissistic behavior, but they can help us understand why a narcissist behaves the way they do. Narcissism is a complex personality disorder that affects individuals and those around them in many ways. To recap, we've delved deep into the realm of narcissism, shedding light on its two main types, overt and covert. Remember, overt narcissists are outwardly self-centered, often seeking admiration and dominance. On the other hand, covert narcissists project an image of humility while harboring grandiose fantasies and feelings of entitlement. We've also touched on the manipulative tactics narcissists employ to control their relationships. From gaslighting, where they manipulate others into doubting their own reality, to playing the victim card, to the silent treatment, all these tactics serve a singular purpose: to maintain their superiority and control. Understanding these tactics is crucial, as it empowers us to recognize and respond to such behavior effectively. It's not about labeling or judging people, but rather, it's about protecting our mental and emotional well-being from potential harm. Furthermore, we've explored how childhood trauma and upbringing can contribute to narcissistic behavior. This doesn't excuse their actions, but provides a lens through which we can empathize with their struggle. Remember, understanding is the first step towards healing. As we navigate the complexities of human relationships, it's essential to arm ourselves with knowledge and empathy. However, it's equally important to establish boundaries and prioritize our well-being. After all, we can only extend kindness to others when we are kind to ourselves first. The journey to understanding narcissism and its effects is a long one, filled with twists and turns. But fear not, for you are not alone on this journey. For more enlightening content on topics like this, remember to subscribe to the Traumatic Relations channel. Your engagement helps us continue this journey of exploration and understanding. So don't forget to comment, share, and like this video. Together, we can navigate the complexities of human relationships.